How's it going, everyone? It's Matt here. Today's January 29th, 2026, and I have an important alert to share with you. Over the last several hours, we've seen a major escalation coming out of Iran, and this one matters. Iran's Revolutionary Guard has now declared a state of emergency across the country, and they're publicly stating full readiness for war. That's not normal rhetoric. That's not posturing for domestic politics. That's a signal. Now here's what triggered this. Earlier today, the European Union officially designated the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC, as a terrorist organization. This comes after months of pressure tied to Iran's violent crackdown on mass protests inside the country. And Iran did not take this lightly. Tehran reacted with fury, openly condemning the EU decision. And this is happening at the same time tensions are already high with Washington. President Trump has also warned that time is running out on any kind of nuclear deal. So from Iran's perspective, pressure is coming from both directions, diplomatically and militarily. That's why this moment matters. When a country declares a nationwide emergency and places its military forces on full readiness, that tells us leadership believes the risk of escalation is no longer theoretical. Now, the EU didn't mince words here. European leadership described the IRGC as a regime that crushes its own people's protests in blood, calling the designation long overdue. That language is unusually direct for the EU, and that's another signal. This isn't just symbolic. This limits financial movement. It isolates Iran further, and it raises the odds of retaliation, either directly or through proxies. And that's where Israel comes into the picture. Over the last day, there have been credible reports of Israeli air defense systems being repositioned, both south and north of Tel Aviv. That's important. Israel doesn't move air defense assets casually. Those systems are placed based on threat direction modeling, meaning they're watching for potential inbound risks from multiple vectors. This doesn't mean something is imminent, but it does mean Israel is preparing for multiple scenarios, not just one. And when you zoom out and connect the dots, Iran declares a state of emergency. The IRGC is officially labeled a terrorist organization by the EU-US. Nuclear deal pressure ramps up. Israeli air defenses shift position. That's not random. That's a region tightening its posture. Now, let me be clear here. This does not mean war breaks out tonight, but it does mean we've crossed into a higher risk phase. This is what escalation looks like before anything kinetic happens. More statements, more positioning, more readiness. And historically, this is the window where miscalculations happen. That's why this is an alert, not panic, but awareness. If you're watching this unfold, the things to pay attention to next are any movement of Iranian naval assets, increased activity through regional proxies, further air defense adjustments in Israel, sudden changes in commercial air traffic patterns. Those are the signals that tell us whether this stays political or starts moving into something more serious. For now, the key takeaway is this: the temperature just went up. Not to a boil, but enough that everyone in the region is standing closer to the edge than they were yesterday. I'll continue monitoring this live, and I'll update if anything changes materially. As always, stay steady, stay informed, and I'll talk to you again soon.